So one of the main takeaways I had got from the chapter was proxemics. Um, and that's what I felt like really resonated, the interview. And I felt like that explains really well, how the interview went. Um, so for Tanya, I felt like, like she had strong gestures, direct eye contact, and I felt like that was labeled as aggressive, because by using the way she was using proxemics, she was claiming the space by, like owning the room basically, or working the room, like some people would say. Um, in the chapter, they talk about how women are, taught and shown like they're expected to shrink, and then when they don't, it's like labeled like as aggressive, and because she's reversing these gender roles, it's like now people don't like that, even though the same things can be done by a man, and it's like not okay, versus Michael, he's moving around, he's taking up the podium space, he's being, like, I guess you could say, like perfect candidate, but that's kind of basically what Tanya was doing, right? Um, so instead of Tanya being praised like Michael, she's called aggressive versus him. They're like, well, yeah, like he's commanding, he's being a leader. So he's showing the same behavior as Tanya. So it's crazy because yeah. So it's like these certain things are praised in men usually, especially white men. Um, and they're praised for it. Except Tanya can do the same thing, and yeah. So Priya, she smiles, she nods, soft voice. And I feel like her use of proxemics is because she doesn't want to like, scare anyone off. She doesn't want to, what's the word? Like, she's she's afraid to take that space in the way that, like, she's just afraid. So she is shrinking, due to like what she was taught, right? So because of this, um, she's dismissed as likable but not ready. So she can do what she's supposed to do as a woman, and yet she's not ready. So it's like, what's the word? Like we have like us as women, we have to find the perfect middle, and even then, because of just who we are, like as what we present, our gender, we can just be told straight up no, just because of that. And then we get to James. James is very animated, expressive, loud. And so it's like, okay, it's coming similar to like as of Michael, except some people will call it like unpolished, it's relatable. Um, so I feel like his use of proxemics is really good, but we have to remember that, um, despite what we would like to think, that these people are looking at age or looking at ethnicity, and they're using that to see like, okay, well, due to these characteristics of him, now I'm gonna start basing how he's moving in his space, how is he reclaiming this space, but off of like what I'm thinking, or what's the word, off of my ideas. If he's not gonna act correctly for his age, ethnicity, whatever, then I will decide on what I think, if that's what I think it should be. Not, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Um, yeah. So I feel like the main takeaway I got was like space. Everyone used either their space completely opposite or completely the same, and yet some were criticized, and yet others were praised. So it's like space equals power, but it's not equal for everyone. And so like same thing for like the nonverbal cues, like everybody was just judged completely differently just because of who they are. So it's kind of hard because you can't separate, or at least in this scenario, you couldn't separate leadership from gender and race.